right, so Mr. Burr, sir.
Yes.
So good to have you. I want to know, so I know you were part of the original Hamilton workshops.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you seen change and evolve, and what has that been like for you?
Yeah, well, so early on, in those workshops, there's no choreography. You have a music stand, and when it's time to do your thing, you kind of raise your music stand up with your music and you walk forward, and so and you do your thing. So you kind of can see the potential or lack of potential in some projects. This was one of those projects where you go, oh wow, like this is something special. So I had the pleasure of being opposite Lynn and Leslie Odom and everything as George Washington. At that time, Chris Jackson couldn't do the role, and he and Lynn are as thick as thieves. So it was already Chris's role. I know Chris well. So I just stepped in for that one workshop and was really happy to, because it was just great to experience what this felt like from the beginning. It has definitely changed and morphed. You know, songs were cut, songs were changed. There's always, amazing songs that get cut from shows because there's either no time or maybe they don't drive the story forward. But luckily, Burr gets to sing some of the prettiest songs, and the most interesting songs to me. So I'm happy that that kind of the fruition of the changes has come about for Burr.
So is this just the right time, you think, for you in this role?
Yeah, exactly. When they wanted me to do Washington. So I did it in the workshop, and then after that, they kept saying, we'll bring him back in for Washington. We want to see him for this company or that company, and it just, there was something that didn't fit. Washington is a little low and vocally for me, and it just didn't really fit. Roles fit like clothes. They either fit or they don't. So after a while, it didn't happen for one reason or another. And I said, listen, through my agent, I'm not gonna, they can either hire me or not. I love Hamilton, but there are other shows. Like there's other business that I've got to do and take care of. So, but if Burr happens, let me know. I would be interested in coming back in for that. And it just so happens that it opened in this company, and I had a bunch of friends already in this company, and so it worked out. And I got to take over, so it was perfect, and Burr fits me.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so. Yeah. What kind of pressure is there? Or is there pressure that so many people know the music and have seen it in Disney Plus, and it's just become such a cultural phenomenon? Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that we all kind of put our own expectation and pressure on ourselves individually as far as performers. But there's no pressure from the creative team or any of our resident creative team to our resident directors to sound like anybody, to be like anybody. They really are truly, truly interested in you sussing out your originality in that role. And so that is really a luxury. It doesn't always pan out that way. I mean, people bring out different things in roles, but they really want you to sound like you, to not sound like, in my case, Leslie, who sings it so beautifully. So, it's hard to get that out of your head. Yeah. So what you have to do is not watch the Disney Plus or listen to the soundtrack for a year.
Yeah, I bet.
So that you can, at that point, go, oh yeah, that's the way he did it, and not ever go back to the way that it sounded, or the way I heard it in the workshop, in the original workshop. So there's not the kind of pressure that you'd think in that regard. But I think individually, because there's so many words and there's it's choreographed within an inch of its life, that part is the kind of the self-pressure, and you're like, okay, I got oh my gosh, I'm in the white room, like I forgot this entire passage of, now I'm up. You just do that. You just and you kind of hope that someone in the audience yells lyrics out. But generally we help each other out on stage. So there's pressure, but not pressure.
But that's the magic of live theater. That's the magic of singing in person. Right. Is those little changes everybody
Well, I'm glad you got that. Yeah, theater is like really fleeting. So you turn on the Disney Plus, it's the same every time.
Right.
Leslie's not tired in that performance because it's the same one that he did the night before. It's exactly the same. It's recorded. But in live theater, the cast kind of changes every night depending on who's on vacation, who's sick, who has an injury that they've got to deal with. So ensemble-wise or principal character-wise, people might be out. So the show that you saw on a Tuesday might be different from a Thursday, And so that's part of it. I mean, that's really, really cool. And that person sounds different. They have their own thing.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. Okay. Yeah. I know you have kids. What's it like being on the road with a family?
Well, it's tricky. I was just saying in another interview, thank God for FaceTime, because, years ago when it didn't exist, and I didn't have a family actually back, when I'm thinking of like when I was on the road with Lion King, like in 2002, 2001. But, when it was just on the phone, when you're keeping in touch with everybody that way and emails, but it's tough. My kids are 7 and 9, so they're, in that spot where they need dad and they need mom as well. So but thankfully FaceTime is there so that I talk to them every night or see them every night. I see their faces, they see mine every day, every night. So I'm thankful for that. But it's tough being on the road. My wife is a judge in Bronx Family Court, so she's got a very stringent schedule, and family court, does crazy things to your mind. So it's hard. So this tour will have a shelf life for me where at some point I'll say, it's time to go home and thank you. Yeah, it's time to be back in New York City.
Well, we're sure glad that you're on the road now.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back in Carolina too. So.
Yeah, so have you've been in North Carolina before?
Yeah.
Have you been to Greensboro before?
I have been to Greensboro. So I went to Carolina for grad school in Chapel Hill. And so I've been to, Charlotte, I've been to Greensboro, Winston-Salem, which we're not touring through this time, but yeah, I've been all over, and it's nice to be back, and it's warm. It's getting warm, and it feels good.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to do a quick rapid-fire questions to end this off. All right. So, Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts?
Krispy Kreme.
Nice. Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, Coca-Cola.
Pork barbecue or beef barbecue?
Pork.
What is a toboggan?
It's like a sled, but it's wood. But I think in Carolina it is a hat. Yes. I heard it over there. I was sitting over there. Yes. I heard it.
Cheater. That's all right. Mountains or coast?
Coast.
Night on the town or curled up on the couch?
Ooh. I'll probably say curled up on the couch, especially at this point.
Can you name the contemporary of your character for whom Greensboro is named?
Greensboro.
Contemporary of your character.
He's in our show, isn't he? Nathaniel Green and Henry Knox wanted to hire you. Nathaniel Green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Very good.
It goes through very quickly in the show, but that was, yeah.
All right, and finally, Aaron Burr, victim or villain?
He's not a villain. I'll say I don't want to call him a victim, but he's definitely misunderstood. I don't want to upset Aaron Burr in his grave and say that he's a victim, but yeah.
Very good.
Misunderstood.
Very fair. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome.